What's up, guys? It's Joe back again talking about the Kansas State Wildcats, and in today's video we've got some actual basketball to talk about. We're going to recap and talk about some of my thoughts surrounding the Wildcats' recent offseason trip. They were overseas playing multiple different exhibition games against Mexico, UAE Select, and Israeli Select, and I'm going to recap some of those and also talk about 4 major thoughts that I saw through these games that I think are going to be storylines for the season, or even just things I didn't quite understand going into this game that I get a way better opinion on now. But I know you guys have probably seen the title or probably seen the thumbnail for this. Let me mention it, get the cat out of the bag now. I'm going to be talking about the giveaway for the lavender quarter zip coming up in this video. It'll be closer to the end of the video, so if you want to sit through this and hang out with me here, I would appreciate that. But before I do say that, let me say thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for helping us hit 1,000 subs. It hasn't even fully hit me yet, so I haven't really had time to collect my thoughts 100%. I will have a little bit more of thank you type content in my next video when I release the actual giveaway winner. But before we get into that stuff, let me tell you about what I saw overseas. I mean, it was great. It's not a secret. It was a great thing to watch, and just having basketball made me feel good again. That was the biggest thing I saw. Like, yeah, you saw guys on the court that you saw last. You saw Cam Carter, you saw nae'qwan, you saw some of the young guys that redshirted, and even some of the freshmen. It was just good and refreshing to see, and that's not necessarily one of my thoughts, but I just wanted to get that out of the way now. I absolutely loved watching K-State basketball. Obviously, the last game they played was not streamed against UAE Select. That game went live, I believe, at 4 a.m. Central Time, so if you caught any of the highlights for that, I don't know how you did, because I know it wasn't streamed really anywhere. They just now kind of released the box scores, but I do have something to talk about on that front about each of the games. I do want to start here, and this is the spot we all have to start at, and I'm sure you guys hear it coming out of my mouth already before I say it. Tyler Perry is that dude. I was familiar with the guy, I was familiar with his game, but to this point is unbelievable. To see him go 33 points in 18 minutes in the most recent scrimmage, that blows my mind. In 18 minutes, the guy was averaging over 1-3 per 2 minutes. I know that doesn't sound like much when you say it like that, but think about this. 33 points in 18 minutes, that is less than 1/2 of collegiate basketball. Guy's on pace for like 70 points in a full game of college basketball. And I know what you're going to say, it's the difference of playing UAE Select versus playing, Texas or Kansas or something like that. These are still guys who have played professional basketball in the NBA G League and even some that have been in the league itself. There's some great things to take away from this, and Tyler Perry, no doubt, was one of them. I do want to get this out of the way now before I move on to the next thought. If you see anything moving around in this bottom left corner over here, I've got my puppy laying on the bed. He's a new dog behind us, so if you see his head pop up or anything, that's him. So shout out to Poe. But moving on to the next thought, and I do just want to quickly mention this before I do completely jump. The trio of Tyler Perry, Arthur Kaluma, and Quez Glover, who just committed to Cats recently, they've scored 2,823 points at the Division I level. 234 total games played in Division I basketball. That's ridiculous. That's unbelievable. These guys are coming to play, and it's going to be great to have all 3 on the court. This wasn't our full squad, and that's no secret. Obviously, you get David Gasson back, who has been balling with the Netherlands Olympic team, as well as get a guy like Quez Glover in who could really turn the tides for K-State. But my next thought, and I have been very vocal in support of this guy on this channel. It's one of the guys I've really highlighted to watch as a K-State secret weapon type player, Jarrell Colbert. Colbert is a big dude. And I know that might just be the stupidest thing to say coming out of my mouth, because you always know, like, nae'qwan's tall. He's thin, but he's tall. David Gasson's a big dude. Jarrell Colbert made everybody in the court look small. 6'11", 240 pounds roughly. I mean, the guy was big. And I know we all were bummed, like we missed out on some of the bigger guys in the portal, like Ernest Uday immediately comes to mind. Basically the same height and weight as Jarrell Colbert in my mind. I'm pretty sure it was a 6'11", roughly 230, 235 for Uday. Jarrell Colbert is going to be a monster, both defensively and in terms of rebounding. I still think he's got some stuff to figure out on the offensive side of the game, just because he's young. He hasn't had a ton of time with this team or with, Division I basketball with K-State or in the Big 12 for that matter. I think he's really going to develop into a great player, and he could go to the NBA in a couple of years from now. We'll all be looking at saying, you know what? This is one of the best rim protectors in the Big 12. I don't think it's a stretch to say that could happen this year. One of the best rim protecting bigs in the Big 12. I could see that from Colbert. He had 12 points and 11 boards in this last game. And he didn't do a ton offensively in each game, but the dude absolutely contributed on the glass, and that's what you love to see. I mean, he has a giant wingspan that's like 3 of me. That is huge, and I think Jarrell is going to really blossom into a great player this season before our very eyes. But moving on to the next one. And this one, I'm not the first guy to say it. I'm not going to claim it. You've had 8,000 different guys talk about it. The Cam Carter hype train is absolutely real. That guy is unbelievable. The difference in his body, in his physicality, in his work ethic, you can see it. In just the first game of the summer, you could see Cam Carter. I saw him hit the court, and I kind of looked at him for a second. I was like, this dude put on some weight. And I remember hearing Phil Byer, the strength and conditioning coach, talk on the 3 Mile podcast and say, Cam's up 15, 16 pounds of healthy muscle mass weight. That's huge for Cam. He's going to be a great player in the next couple of years. And you saw that. I mean, 20 points, 10 boards. Like, he's grabbing boards way more than I thought he would. I kind of figured he wouldn't. I didn't expect him to be a Marquise Noel type player immediately. But Cam Carter is going to be a major contributor and has a real chance at being a first-team All-Big 12 guy this season. I don't think it's that far of a stretch. If there's a gun to my head right now and I'm trying to guess where Cam Carter's going to end up, I think he ends up in the 13-point average range this season and maybe somewhere like 5 or 6 rebounds. Assists, still kind of a question mark on this team. But Cam Carter impressed me so much. And you can tell his work ethic's there. He's shooting way better from 3. I still need to see some work on the free throws. But as of right now, Cam Carter is an absolute stud. And he looked like a menace on the court compared to everybody else out there. And one player, and this isn't a bad thing. Let me preface this now. This is not a bad thing. And it could just be a thing that you saw while they're overseas. You don't know if it'll translate into Big 12 basketball or how they've worked on using this player, but Nae'Qwan Tomlin's role in this team is incredibly unique. All the highlights you saw Nae'Qwan Tomlin have this week, except for maybe one putback dunk or one, grab a ball off the glass, lay it back up. Nae'Qwan started all of his highlights from the three-point line or from beyond the free throw line. He was playing almost guard-esque basketball, which I don't mean to say that Nae'Qwan's a guard or anything crazy like that. I don't mean to sit here and say that this guy's going to be Kevin Durant or something immediately this season, but Nae'Qwan Tomlin's role on this team is really unique. I mean, he's a guy that could really play, not necessarily 1 through 5, but you give him a 2 through a 5 spot, like you're going to see Nae'Qwan Tomlin bring the ball up the court sometimes on this team. And that's fine. We're excited to see that. He is going to be the biggest mismatch in all of Big 12 basketball. And originally I'm sitting here thinking, well, he's going to play the 4 all the time. Jerome Tang, I'm not so sure uses the 1 through 5 approach. I mean, obviously to an extent you want two or three big guys down low, 2 guards to handle the ball, but he's not necessarily building a team off of, okay, Jarrell Colbert, David Gasson, Nae'Qwan Tomlin have to be 4s and 5s. They can't drop out and shoot the 3. I think there's a real aspect of positionless basketball on this team, and that's what I like to see out of Nae'Qwan Tomlin. I'm really excited to see what we get from Quan. He didn't look great from 3, but he still was absolutely flashing, throwing down hammerous dunks. Maybe thunderous is a better adjective, but whatever the case is. Nae'Qwan Tomlin is primed for a big season, and I can't wait to see how they use him. But I just sit here now to say I don't know how they're going to properly use the guy because he can do just about anything on the court. You saw him bringing the ball up to the point where they had bigs for Israeli Select or Mexico or even UAE Select trying to defend Nae'Qwan Tomlin out on the 3-point line, and Quan's blowing right past him. He is a genetic freak and just a weird specimen, like a great weird specimen. And I don't mean weird in a bad way. Nae'Qwan Tomlin is weird in the sense that you don't know what you're going to get. Kevin Durant is a weird prospect. That's what I'm seeing with Nae'Qwan Tomlin. I think they're going to jump that gun and go to the point where Quan could play like a 3-4-5 position loosely and then not have to worry about defending some of the bigger bigs. Like Hunter Dickinson is the first one that comes to everybody's mind from Kansas when you think of like a big body you have to defend in the low block. Obviously an Oscar Tshiebwe type player. With Jarrell Colbert on this team, that's your big guy. It's going to defend people in the low block. It's kind of going to bang bodies. That's Jarrell Colbert's job. Like, he can defend, block shots, grab boards. That's what Colbert's there for. Nae'Qwan Tomlin has an ability to do just about anything you need for him. That's what I'm excited to see with this team going forward. But I do want to mention some stuff on the giveaway topic before we get out of here on this video. Once again, guys, thank you so much for 1,000 subs. I can't even necessarily fully describe how it feels right now because it just feels so fresh already. I'll try to take this week to kind of collect my thoughts and give you guys a full rundown of how I feel about everything I'm grateful for with all of you, so I appreciate it so much. But let me tell you what you have to do to win a lavender quarter zip. There's only one out there that I'm going to be giving away. So I apologize. It's not going to be 5 or 6 of them. I don't have that kind of money. I just graduated college. I'm not in that front. However, this is what's going to happen. In the description of this video, it should be the first thing in the description. You'll go down, click on the description, and you'll see a link that should say something like Google form or giveaway link, whatever you want to type it out in terms of that. It's going to be the top link in the description. Click on that. It'll ask you 3 questions. It should say giveaway info at the top. I don't need all of your info. I don't need your address. I don't need anything crazy yet. It will only depend on who the winner is. As of right now, all I need from you is to go in, enter your first and last name so I know who it is. And that way, if I follow you on social media, vice versa, I'll have a quicker pipeline of contacting you. But in there, I will also ask your shirt size, whether it be men's or women's. Just let me know in that box. You can write in all your answers, whatever you want to do. Small, medium, large, XL, double XL, whatever you might be. Toss that in there so I have an idea of what to order you. And then the last thing is just your email. It's just probably the most efficient way for me to contact you rather than trying to go through, DMs on Twitter or DMs on Instagram or Facebook It's just going to make my life a little bit easier, so that's all you have to do. And then how you win, that's all you have to do to enter. So once you've done that, hit the submit button, send it my way. I will have that record. I'm posting this video right now. It's going to be Saturday, August 19th. By the time you're probably watching this, if not, that's okay. That was when the official video went live, was 8:30, Saturday the 19th. 1 week from today, same time, 8:30 a.m., I will drop the winner of the giveaway. What I'm going to do is I'll leave the form open for a week. The deadline will be midnight on Friday. That's when I'm cutting it off. No more entries after that. So Friday the 25th at midnight, so going into the 26th. I will record the video at that point, do a random number generator, random number wheel, whatever you want to say. And that front, I've seen a couple of different methods. I'm going to try to research and see what the best option is. Put everybody that enters the form in. The one winner will be selected, and I'll make a video and I'll record it live so you can all see it done. That's going to be how it does. And then after that, I'll reach out on email. We'll talk about that. I will send it your way once I get that in my hands. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much the full details. If you do have any questions on either the giveaway or K-State basketball, please let me know in the comments. I will respond as quick as I can. But once again, guys, I appreciate you so much. It's been a great run, and I can't wait to keep making more K-State content with you guys alongside. I appreciate you guys being there for the journey. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and